From Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, it's the Minnesota Vikings against the defending Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys. This is the second of 4 NFL specials on ABC. The other 3 on Sunday nights. One has already taken place. That one, New England's thrilling last-second victory over the Oakland Raiders. Tonight's game, clearly a key game involving key personnel. The Minnesota Vikings, led as always by their redoubtable quarterback, that man, Fran Tarkenton. But the Vikes are struggling at 4-4. Unexpected losses to New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Signs of resurgence last week against Green Bay. And Dallas, led as always by their versatile and athletic quarterback, Roger Staubach, at 6-2. But struggling, too, if you look at their game-by-game record. 2 close wins against St. Louis. Always, Dallas has that man, Tony Dorsett, the Heisman Trophy winner from Pitt. But Dorsett this year with troubles on and off the field. Benched last Sunday by Coach Tim Landry. Back tonight, here are Landry and Tony Dorsett.
Tom, because the incident is so recent, just this past Sunday, would you explain to the public why it was necessary to bench Tony Dorsett?
Well, basically, he missed practice on Saturday, and it wasn't so much the missing of practice because players, they occasionally miss practice, but he didn't report the incident to us. We couldn't get in touch with him, and therefore it was a disruptive thing on our football team, and for that reason, it was the best interest of the club that we did it.
Tony, after you missed practice last Saturday, the coach benched you on Sunday against the Eagles. You later stated you were publicly humiliated. Your family had gone a great distance to see you play. After that, what did you do, because you're going to be starting tonight?
Well, Howard, the main thing I did, I think, was I came back this week, and I came in with the right attitude. I didn't come in holding any grudges against Coach or any of the players or anyone in the whole organization. I came in with the attitude that I wanted to play football again. I came in, I worked hard. I come into a meeting, I think I surprised everyone, the players and the coaches, by apologizing for what I did, because it wasn't an intentional thing. It was just something that happened, and I was sorry that it happened to myself, but I felt that it was part of life, it was part of growth, and maybe it was something healthy for me as far as my future is concerned.
20 seconds to air. Stand by, all cameras. Stand by in videotape. Stand by slow-mo. Stand by to open your mics on the field. Stand by in graphics. Ready with your opening supers. Stand by the announcers in the booth, please. And roll tape. 3, 2, 1. Take tape.
Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, a special Thursday edition of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Minnesota Vikings against the Dallas Cowboys. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Datsun, who invite you to experience the performance, quality, and luxury of the all-new 280ZX at your Datsun dealer now. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Hello again, everyone. 2 perennial powers in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, the Minnesota Vikings. But as we quickly developed at the very opening, 2 teams not playing up to their expected abilities, expected before the season began. Nonetheless, here they are, and they always put on a great and a tough competitive game. We expect the same thing tonight. In line with the fact that we developed A, the key personnel, B, the Dorsett issue of the recent weekend earlier. Now it's time to continue the storyline, the contrasting strategies of the opposition quarterbacks. Frank Gifford and Don Meredith spoke with each of them earlier.
Fran, if anyone knows the Dallas Cowboys, you do, although you didn't play in the NFC Championship game last year. Your team is not running the ball well. You're going to have to throw. The Cowboys know you're going for it.
We're going to throw. We're 28th in the league out of 28 teams in the rush. We're playing a team that's perennially been one of the top teams against the Russian football. There's no question we're going to throw the ball. We're going to throw on first down, second down, and third down. Dallas, I don't think we'll get into the flex defense, which is a run defense against. I think they'll come with their four-man line and strap their ears back and come after us, but we're going to have to control the ball with the pass. However, I think we're going to run the ball some against them.
Do you feel that you'll be able to run against Minnesota? That seems to be one of the criticisms of the overall offense, that you haven't been able to establish the running game.
I think that's a critical thing for us to run against Minnesota. They play the zone very well. They sit back there. They're experienced. If you get behind and you have to start throwing, it's pretty tough. But if you get the running game going, we can use the things we do well, the play-action passes and throw the football also. So running is a major priority against Minnesota, against any team. But our running game has been off, and Tony needs to have a good night. So running is very important to us tonight.
Okay, that's the nub of the matter. They met in the playoffs. Dallas 23, the Vikings 6. What to look for tonight, established by the respective interviews of the Giffer and of Dandy Dunn with the opposition quarterbacks. We'll be back in a moment.
Hallelujah. A totally new C-car. The new Datsun 280CX. Our road-hugging, hard-pounding, hood-soaring, deck-sloping, fuel-injected masterpiece. Our new CX is awesome. We
You want to start something?
Darling, you want to start something.
You want to start something? Start using Rayovac alkaline energy cells, the finest battery Rayovac makes. No ordinary battery can last as long as our alkaline energy cell. In fact, one Rayovac alkaline can last up to 8 times longer than an ordinary battery. So if you want to start something, start using Rayovac alkaline.
get something started with Rayovac.
When you farm your own land, the work never ends. But you do it with pride and all the strength you can muster. But now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
A sellout crowd in Texas Stadium, just outside of Dallas, Irving, Texas. The Dallas Cowboys, the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys, against the Minnesota Vikings. A look at Roger Staubach. I talked with him earlier this evening. Roger Staubach having a good year. He's playing a little beat up tonight. He's wearing some rib pads. He has a bruise on his chest, a bruise on his leg. I suggested that might be the years. He said, no, I feel better than I did when I was a kid. Speaking of kids, here is a perennial kid, Fran Tarkenton, into his 19th year every time he throws a football. He sets an NFL record, 39 touchdown passes, rather over 300 touchdown passes. But Fran has turned it around since that third game, and so many people were washing him up. He had a big game against the Minnesota Vikings, about the Green Bay Packers last week, 3 touchdown passes, and he feels that tonight, you heard it in the interview, he's going to have to throw the ball. This is a team that is probably not probably, they have the worst rushing record in the entire NFL, so they know they have to throw the ball. Cowboys have won the toss. They'll receive to your left. Butch Johnson, number 86, is deep. He's back there with Larry Brinson, number 36. And it will kick off. Rick Danmeyer. He's not all that long on the kickoffs. The Vikings, a little over a week ago, released an 8th-round draft pick that they had, Mike Wood. He could kick it off very well, but he wasn't punting that well. So Rick Danmeyer is now kicking off for the Vikings, and we're set to get underway. Critical game for both teams. The 4-4 Vikings trailing the Green Bay Packers. The 6-2 Cowboys tied with the Washington Redskins. And this is Larry Brinson. He bobbles the ball. And a big scramble for it. And Minnesota's going to come up with it. Number 45, that's Tom Hannon. And Tom Hannon gives the Minnesota Vikings a big break. Brinson lost the handle, and the Vikings will have a 1st and 10. They'll be at the 28-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
Couldn't have asked for a bigger break this early in the game. In the meantime, as a general premise, look for Minnesota to show differing formations tonight to try to provide a new offensive look, and you'll see a lot of people in motion. Frank will develop this general premise as Minnesota seeks to confuse the Dallas computerized defense.
And Dallas, of course, knows full well Minnesota can't run the ball. They'll just turn him loose and go for the quarterback. Tarkenton, as he said, on first down. Going out to the flat is Bob Tucker, and Tucker turns upfield, gets close to the 22-yard line. A gain of about 7. It's going to be second down and 3. Bob Tucker has not, as we look at the front four of the Dallas Cowboys, and they're a rather healthy group, that group right there. The man trying to go, Harvey Martin with a knee brace at right end. We'll talk about that a little later. You saw the linebackers. They're quick. They're good. They read well. And the defensive secondary, that is a very strong secondary. The Dallas Cowboys, #1 in the NFL on offense. Not too far back of that on defense. Nevertheless, tied in their division with Washington at 6-2. Second down, long 3. Chuck Foreman, right side, gets inside the 20, close to a first down. And Chuck Foreman is also playing hurt.
He really is. In fact, it's affected him emotionally, according to the people who run the Vikings organization. He's always had the ability to play hurt, but suddenly, in our Monday night game against Chicago, he got a double hurt, the knee and the ankle both, and it got to him, and that's part of his problem this year.
And, of course, Fran likes to throw to his backs. The leading receiver in the NFL is Ricky Young, the other setback in there with Foreman, number 34. And you're going to see just how much Minnesota will need for their first down. Just inches. And Francis signals to the sidelines, not to Coach Bud Grant. He wanted to bring in his 2 tight ends. That would be number 83 and 84. Boyd is 83. Steve Craig is 84. Short yardage offense, and Fran is not above play action and throwing the ball in a situation like this.
I think particularly since it's such a short distance to go for that first down, you're right. But I think if it were a yard or two, based on the performance of the offense, its ability to rush, then Fran would probably go ahead and try to stick it in there. I think he'll do it again, though, Frank, to try to get that first down and get 7 points on the board.
Inches to go. The ball will be 18. Following the Larry Brinson fumble by Dallas. Motion. Craig getting the call. Foreman spins, and he's down close to the 15-yard line. Bernie Barnes takes him down, but that's a first down for Minnesota. Chuck Foreman, who has compiled an incredible career thus far. This is 6th year, gained over 5,000 yards rushing. 3 straight years at 1,000 yards, and suffering from that knee that Howard spoke of. It occurred in the Bear game, and it has bothered him. He missed a couple of games, and he's trying to get back to the form that makes him one of the most dangerous running backs in all of football. Now, this is what we anticipated earlier, spreading all over the field, trying to foul up the Cowboys' keys. They are a keen defense, a disciplined defense. Over the middle, it goes to Bob Tucker, and Tucker goes down in the arms of Charlie Waters, short of the first down, inside the 7-yard line.
That's what Frank called your attention to, the general premise we established, that the Vikings would try to establish a new look tonight. Everybody knows that Dallas is a computerized team. Based upon, they predicate their defenses, as you look at the play that just gained the yardage enunciated by Frank. Their defense is predicated upon offensive frequency tendency.
Hospital, if that sounds familiar. It should be, because that's where the same knee brace that Joe Namath was put on. Joe, earlier, he had that fitted on Monday. Returned on Tuesday, has worked out 1 day. Sorry for our technical difficulties. The picture was out for a moment in your area. We apologize. We'll be working on that. You saw the indication of the holding, or if you didn't, that's what we saw. Here's the call, referee Fred Wyatt.
Number 73, offense.
Ron Yeri, the all-pro right tackle, backs the Minnesota Vikings out to the 17-yard line. Down will remain the same. It'll be second down and 12. And Dallas comes in with their prevent defense. And one of the things you do when a team starts to get into kind of weird formations, as Minnesota's indicated they will, one of the things you can do very effectively is blitz them.
That is right. Throw them a zone or blitz. Here they all come again.
The big split. Kenny Barnes now right at the line of scrimmage. No blitz. Over the middle, Foreman is open. And Foreman has the first down. He's down close to the 3-yard line. Benny Barnes made the stop. And right now, Don, very effective.
Yeah, they really are. They are moving it around. You mentioned to Fran in his interview about playing Dallas an awful lot. I've known Fran for an awfully long time. He loves to play Dallas. He really loves to play against the flex defense. He feels that it gives him a little bit advantage because there's at least two guys that are a little bit off the line when they have that rush. He loves to pick against he knows, well, he just knows the defense very well. He knows how to take advantage of that time. He had Foreman working man-to-man on Barnes, but Barnes was in a new position. He didn't play his cornerback like he usually does.
First and goal. Motion man, Ricky Young. Tarkenton tosses the Foreman, touchdown Minnesota, and they take the lead. And it all began when Brinson fumbled the opening kickoff. And Minnesota is on the scoreboard.
That was really pretty slick. You know, they got the big holding penalty. Looked like, well, that might be a situation that forced them to settle for a field goal attempt. Came back with a big hit to Foreman. Again, you see both backs coming up from a short set backfield. That's awfully hard to cover. That's the middle linebacker's man to cover Bruning. Very hard for anybody to cover him. Bruning that time got a step or two a little slow in getting that start. 6 points for Minnesota.
Rick Danmeyer for the conversion. And it's good. 11:22 remaining in the first quarter. Minnesota leads the Dallas Cowboys 7-0. And we'll be back in Irving, Texas, right after this message.
Okay, Linda here's got to protect her family.
A woman?
Sure, a woman needs life insurance just as much as a man does. And this New York Life Defense has just the insurance plan to do it. Put the blitz on Linda's money problems. Block out her retirement worries. Come on, Linda, it's all yours now. And a girl!
I've got it. Financial security.
Where the name of the game is life, there's New York Life.
Ladies and gentlemen, we challenged hotshot Dick Tchaikovsky to play the Mattel Electronics football game. Dick doesn't know. Inside is a tiny thinking computer that plays like a whole team of pros. Dick's got the ball, but that computer defense is tough. He drives up the middle, stopped cold.
1 yard?
Now, Dick cuts left, down the sidelines, touchdown. Mattel Electronics Pocket Football with the built-in computer.
Hey, who's in there?
As Chuck Foreman played such a significant part, Dandy put his hand right on the matter. The key play after the penalty was Tarkenton's pass to Foreman. Tarkenton went 4 for 4 in the drive, 31 yards, and quickly Minnesota ahead. Gift.
Foreman with his 70th career touchdown. Danmeyer hits it. It'll be Brinson with an opportunity again. This time at the 3, holds on. Runs out of his shoe, however. And Brinson on one shoe gets out to the 22, 23-yard line. But he left his wheel inside the 5-yard line.
Better to lose the shoe than the ball. He's getting better.
He's the guy who fumbled and set up that first Minnesota touchdown.
Well, next time he probably won't lose anything and just do real well.
Brinson collects his foot gear. The offensive unit of the Cowboys comes out. Roger Staubach, of course, at quarterback. Tony Dorsett out of the Hound House, in there with Robert Newhouse as setbacks. Drew Pearson wide receiver, along with the 2 tight ends. Jackie Smith is in there, number 81, and Billy Joe Dupree. Jackie Smith, acquired a few weeks ago when Jay Salty was hurt. Was a 15-year veteran with the St. Louis Cardinals. Here comes Newhouse, and there's a big opening in Newhouse, out over the 30. Short of the first down, but a pickup of 9 as he booms right up the middle behind Fitzgerald, Rafferty, and Scott. Defensively, we're going to watch Carl Eller tonight, Doug Sutherland, James White, Jim Marshall in that front 4. Sounds kind of funny without Alan Page, but he's with the Bears now. The linebackers, the one in the middle, he is a tough, heavy hitter, Jeff Seaman, flanked by Matt Blair, Fred McNeil, the secondary, Bryant, Hannon, Wise, and Wright. Second, a long one. The ball just over the 30-yard line. Dorsett just back into the eye. Dorsett slithers close to a first down, and he's driven back. Hit by number 29, Bill Wise, coming up from the strong safety position. But he is close to a first down. He has the first down.
Frank, you heard the fans scream when Bobby Newhouse broke for 9 yards on the first run. They love Bobby here, who's proved himself a most functional back. And in point of fact, in career rushing against the Vikes, Newhouse leads all active Dallas backs going into this game with a total of 188 yards. So the 9-yard gain, no surprise.
First and 10, the ball at the 32-yard line. The Cowboys down by 7. They fumble the opening kickoff if you just joined us. Dorsett gets the quick toss around the Newhouse. Dorsett with a block, and Newhouse cuts back, and he runs into a crowd. Jeff Seaman was there, and another flag is down. Newhouse cutting back, looking for that gap. He's a good cutback runner. This time he ran right into Seaman. He gets a couple of yards. Well, it wasn't a flag. It was something that thrown onto the field. Very subdued crowd. 65,000 of them. But I think they might have been stunned just a little bit on the opening kickoff fumble that led to that Minnesota touchdown. Inside 10 minutes of the first quarter. Second down and 8. Billy Joe Dupree motions to the left. Dorsett following Newhouse. Dorsett fouls the ball. There's a scramble for it, and the Vikings have it. Dorsett hit hard as he turned the corner, fouled the ball, and coming up with it, the veteran who is making a record every time he starts a game, and that is Jim Marshall. This is his 259th consecutive football game, and the Vikings have another break.
That's one of Dorsett's problems. At the very beginning of the telecast, we said he's been having his problems on and off the field. As you look at the treasured relic of yesteryear who continues to serve in this year, Jim Marshall. He coughs up the football too much. It's a habit he must break. Dorsett, we mean.
First and 10. The ball at the 37-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. And don't be fooled by anything. Tarkenton said he was going to come out gunning. He goes again. It's Sammy White.
Oh, boy. Tell you, he's right on target, too, Frank. That was a difficult pass to throw, and it lobbed it right over Aaron Kyle, who was right there. Sammy White just gave him a little move to the inside, came to the outside. He's not making any bones about it. That wasn't even a play fake. He just said, I'm going to throw, and Sammy White beat him to the outside.
You know, Kyle came right up on him, gave him that one allowable bump right there. There it is. And then White just went right by him.
I'm sorry, Frank, you just can't afford against a team like the Vikings 2 quick turnovers deep in your own territory, such as the Cowboys have had.
The little man who wears number 10 is a very clever quarterback. First and 10 at the 13. Draw play. Foreman cuts against the grain. Look out. And Foreman is down at the 4-yard line. Up into there by number 41, Charlie Waters, and short of the first down.
Had it not been Waters there, who's a very sure tackler, I feel reasonably sure that he would have scored on that play. Waters made a good defensive play. Really tough and wide open. Nobody touched him down there, and there he is. Really big hole in that line. Smart call.
Second down and 1. Tom Landry. The Cowboys have, of course, never had another coach. They have not had a losing season either since 1966.
They're not going to have one this year either.
No, indeed. 11 times in the playoffs. 4 Super Bowls, they won 2 of them.
Really 65. We won 7 and lost 7. That's not losing.
Timeout, Minnesota. Fran did not like what he saw across the line of scrimmage, and he calls timeout. They have 8:10 remaining in the first quarter as Fran gives his troops regrouped, and we'll be returning in just a moment.
When you break horses for a living and you do it wrong, they can break you first. But when you do it right, you can turn a terrified animal into a horse a man can count on. And now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller Beer.
Why are car shoppers everywhere deciding on Datsun?
My wife decided on a Datsun, and
We got such a good deal, we decided to buy 2 at the same time.
the quality is good. It shows craftsmanship,
We got more as considered standard features on the Datsun.
just plain quality of materials, of production, of handling.
Datsun's at year-end prices. See your Datsun dealer today.
Saturday, Colorado, Missouri headlines an action-filled lineup of regional games. Check local listings for NCAA college football on ABC.
Quarterback Fran Tarkenton is 5 for 5 thus far in the early going. He has brought his Minnesota Vikings following 2 Dallas miscues to a 7-0 lead and threatening once again. They have a second down, a long run, the ball inside the 4-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think they can cover the pass. There was a hole for you, man, right through the middle. nobody close. They went inside of Too Tall. Check this one out. Too Tall went on that little inside move. He pulled himself out of the play. It was kind of an influence block. Really, they didn't have to even block him.
Watch Goodrum, 68. Turn to the inside. There he is. Huge hole. Denny Barnes says, why?
That's really, you got Ron Yeri over there, too, and he came down, Frank, and
took everything.
Jones followed him, left a big hole there.
Dan Meyer for the conversion.
Good. They're loving this in Washington and in New York and in Philadelphia. But we've got 8:07 left in the first quarter and ever so long to go.
Now we're beginning to hear from the crowd, and it's not the cheering. There is a little rustle of boos.
Surprises me.
Ricky Young, who came from San Diego, just scored the touchdown. He's been quite an addition, particularly for Fran Tarkenton. He was San Diego's leading receiver, leading rusher a year ago. And, of course, when Ed White went there, Ricky Young went to Minnesota. And he has provided Fran with that other back, along with Chuck Foreman, that gives Fran the little releases, the little dinks that he likes to use. When he doesn't have a running game, he'll tell you that right now. When he said we're going to come out throwing, that's basically what he has to do.
So 2 turnovers have made the difference. Fran has capitalized on both. Dallas will get another offensive opportunity. And at this point in time, they've got to begin, at least subconsciously, to start thinking, we can't give up the ball again. We can't afford another mistake. Whether or not this will affect their offensive efficiency remains to be seen.
Alois Blackwell is deep, 24. Back there with Larry Brinson. Dan Meyer hits it. This will be the rookie from Houston. Blackwell falls out of the 25-yard line, where Dallas will try to get things untracked. Hustling down there, Phil Wise in the special unit of the Minnesota Vikings.
The other thing about it, Giff, is it's fired up Minnesota enormously. Their confidence has to be at a high. As you look at Phil Wise, acquired from the Jets, Tom Landry, who can't possibly be anything but distraught at this moment by the turn of events.
Staubach brings his troops to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10, they're down by 14. Staubach falls as he tries to get away from the center. Hits to his feet, but he falls right into the arms of James White, back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he loses a yard.
You got to figure by this time of the night that somebody's trying to tell you don't play many games on Thursday.
It's like Halloween.
Yeah.
This is the time to play. Nobody does it better.
And all the Goblins are wearing purple tonight for the Cowboys.
They'll get it untracked. It's kind of a statistic that sticks out. The Cowboys have only been shut out one time in their entire career, 1960, and it was on a Monday Night Football game, however.
1970, 38-0.
Well, I'm talking about they have not been shut out in their entire career.
2nd down and 11, and this is Newhouse, and he spins loose from one tackler as he does so often. Big game. He'll pick up 8. It'll be 3rd down, a long 2, and Robert Newhouse, almost impossible to bring down with one tackler at that line of scrimmage. He just spins and slithers, and he gets good yardage.
Look at this from overhead, Don. We've got the overhead camera tonight.
Yeah, it's got some interesting moves in it. Just a big hole over the middle. They ran Newhouse on that very similar play in the opening play of this game when he picked up about 9. He ran it again. He picked up about 9 again.
2 tight ends are in on 3rd down, a long one. Staubach knows himself. He's close to a 1st down. He's trying to lunge forward. Jeff Seaman helping out along with Matt Blair.
Little meeting there.
That's Ernie Stoutner, the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, in the buff jersey, just walked away.
He got into the Hall of Fame. Immediately was eligible. What a defensive lineman for the Steelers. Frank Gifford could write a personal book on Stoutner. Penalty against Dallas. That's going to hurt. They're making mistake after mistake, Giff.
Holding number 62, offense.
John Fitzgerald, the Dallas Cowboys center, caught holding, and that will move the Cowboys back to the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Preston Pearson comes in. If you follow the Cowboys, you know he's a much better receiver at this point in his career than Tony Dorsett. Matter of fact, he has 27 receptions. They use him primarily in passing situations. This is Preston in motion. Comes back in, sets for the block. Far back in a lot of trouble, and goes down at the line of scrimmage. It was Jim Marshall who pressured him originally. Then it was James White who moved across to make the stop. And the Cowboys will have to punt, and they are having a difficult time getting things happening.
Interesting things, although this is still, I caution you early in the game, interesting things are happening in this league this year. The expected powerhouses are not playing with emotion, with intensity. Teams like the Giants and Jets and Seattle and Tampa Bay are. It's reflected in the upsets.
Danny White will punt for Dallas. Kevin Miller awaits. Danny White, who's having a great year, booms one high and a drive. Miller back to the 22-yard line. And Kevin Miller upended by hustling Dennis Thurman, a rookie from USC. And when we return, Minnesota will have the football once again at the 33-yard line. They lead.
3 unidentified 19-inch color TV pictures, each the best of its brand. Over 1,000 people saw them and picked the one with the best overall picture. They didn't pick America's biggest seller, Zenith, or the second biggest, RCA. Over 60% picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset. Over 60%. We're not the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture. The Sylvania Superset.
This is a bodybuilding course. Take it. If you'd like the chance to be in this kind of shape, join the people who've joined the Army. For more information, call this number toll-free.
5:54 to go in the first quarter. The Minnesota Vikings surprisingly lead the Dallas Cowboys 14-0. A couple of miscues. A fumble by Dorsett. A fumble on the kickoff by Princeton. And Minnesota capitalized on each mistake. They have the football 1st and 10. The ball at their own 33-yard line as they spread all over the field once again. Tarkenton, he missed a handoff, and they have not had a great deal of time to work on this offense. He either missed the handoff or was going to bootleg. I think he missed the handoff.
I think he did, too.
Clearly he did. Quick point to be made. Thursday night game. Very little time to prepare. Dallas, thus far, the sluggish team. Maybe this relates back to the Minnesota coach, Bud Grant, who had great experience in preparing a team for 2 games within a week when he coached in the Canadian League, where they played twice a week. Maybe. Minnesota has a long time left in this game to get sluggish, too.
Tarkenton loses 4. The ball at the 29-yard line, 2nd down at 14, and this is when the Cowboys like to blitz if they're going to do it. They do not.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they sent Henderson, and Tarkenton read it immediately. He had yelled his automatic out to Tucker, and Tucker did not look back. Tarkenton had to deliver incomplete. Tom Henderson, you might know, he wears number 56 for the Dallas Cowboys. The Staubach gets in touch with somebody upstairs. Was wearing high-top black shoes. He missed a couple of games early in the year with a sore ankle. He's got the big high tops on.
He's the young man we've talked about so often from Langston, with extraordinary speed for a linebacker, and must be one of the best athletes in the league. Some consider him the best all-around athlete in this league.
3rd and 14. Blitz again. This time, it's Ahmad Rashard, and he collects the ball short of the 1st down out at the 38-yard line, but it'll bring out the punting unit for Minnesota.
I think you saw a pattern there, Frank, and anticipating it is true. If Dallas doesn't know, if they're going to start throwing a lot of stuff at you, then their theory is they blitz. Tom always felt that that was the best way to stop our offense. When we're throwing a lot of different things at us, at different teams, whenever they get confused, they would just blitz. Then we'd go back to an offense that would protect against that, trying to guess with them and catch them in a blitz and hit them man-for-man coverage.
Tony Hill is deep. He's a dangerous return man. Greg Coleman, recently acquired. Tremendous kick, and the flag is down, and Coleman is also down. And the ball trickles into the end zone.
That was Lois Blackwell that ran into the kicker back here, but they got a flag. It'll be another 1st down and another big mistake for Dallas.
Greg Coleman, who kicked for Cleveland a year ago, and earlier this year, Mike Wood having problems, they let him go. They brought in Greg Coleman, and he really boomed it. He put on a pretty good act here, too, after he got hit.
To be candid, I couldn't understand why Cleveland got rid of Coleman. He's been a tremendous kicker. He's the kid who took over when Skladany never signed with him.
Well, the reason being the Cleveland Browns decided they wanted their kicker to also be a backup quarterback. They had been in that trouble before, and so they now have a backup quarterback there who is punting in Cleveland named Johnny Evans.
And a better kicker gone.
On 1st and 10. Robert Miller.
Oh, boy. Nice play by Aaron Kyle there. Great quickness in pursuit. You
That
saw
was Sammy White, coming around.
Thomas Henderson held up the interference, played off 2 or 3 guys pretty well, allowed cornerback Aaron Kyle to shoot up on the inside, make a good block, make a good tackle.
And back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 43. White goes out to the right. Ahmad Rashad with 32 receptions, 33 now in the year. To the left, and Tarkenton sprints out. Sammy White, he's there, and Tarkenton doesn't get it to him.
That was a play that should have been completed. White was all alone. It was a designed rollout from the spread formation that Frank designed. But Fran threw errantly and hastily.
Well, one of the things they had, they were blitzing linebackers. I thought he made a good move, and he had it on a quick count. Didn't really allow Dallas that much time to look at his formation. He got up there, set, and rolled. It was a rollout. The pursuit didn't quite catch up with him, but you're right. He hurried his throw.
3rd down and 10. Now you can anticipate the shift, and there it is. Well, they'll have a name for it by tomorrow. Ahmad Rashad is short of the 1st down, but he gets away from the tackle of Aaron Kyle.
Well,
no, they say that his knee went down after he was touched by Aaron Kyle, in which case it's going to be short of the 1st down.
All right, let's look at it again. The key point, contact with a defensive opponent. Right there.
Well, he put the ball on the ground.
Yes, he did, too. That's the other point. All right, kid.
That doesn't make any difference, does it?
No, I just observed he put the ball on the ground.
No, that's not down. You got to have his knees down.
They're going to measure, but it does appear to be short. In fact, the Dallas defensive unit is already walking off the field.
Now, if you were a gambler, I would go for it again right here.
So would I. Look, because you're ahead 14-0. If you can keep a drive going and make it 21-0, the hole you're in could be too deep to ever get out. Could be, not necessarily with the time remaining.
And they are going to go. Tarkenton comes back out onto the field. 14-0 they lead.
Now, this is one of the ways I like Bud Grant, Don. We've talked about his stoic manner and all the rest, the strict disciplinarian. But in recent years, he's become kind of a gambler.
I think maybe he always has been. We just haven't been aware of what he's trying to do. But I know Fran is. Fran loves to play this way. And I think, they may not make it, but I agree with the effort.
Foreman, he made it. Over the top, 1st down, Minnesota. 46-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. So the gamble pays off. Minnesota retains possession. 3:39 remaining in the 1st quarter.
I think one of the things that Minnesota feared coming in is they wouldn't be able to put enough points on the board to keep up with Dallas. They more or less assumed that Dallas was going to score. And if they could get 21 points in this 1st quarter, that would be some kind of deal. In a statistic that was shown me today, reminded that in the entire history of these two teams, only 2 players have gained 100 yards rushing when they played. One of them for Dallas, Don Perkins, and Bill Brown for Minnesota.
On 1st and 10, Foreman gets the call again, drives it up the middle, squeezes out a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Inside the 45 goes Chuck Foreman. Randy White, who's having a tremendous year, and this is his 2nd year at tackle, in on that stop. He wears number 54. You might recall, #1 draft pick 4 years ago. Couldn't figure out where he fit in, but they knew he was a great football player. There he is, number 54, and they finally moved him to tackle, and along with that man next to him, Harvey Martin, were co-MVPs of the past Super Bowl. He learns every game. 2nd and 8. Screen to the flanker, and it's Bob Tucker, and Tucker bulls forward Down close to the 37-yard line, short of the first down. Upset there by Jethro Pugh, hustled over there.
Good effort by Waters that time to turn the ball carrier in. Tried to get around that block, forced him in the inside, allowed that defensive pursuit to come and catch him from the middle.
Well, I'll tell you, we set the stage for this at the very opening. First, the point about the differing formations, the new look. Second, Frank's interview with Fran. We're going to pass. So there's the storyline unfolding.
And he's thrown the ball 10 times already here in the first quarter with 2 minutes to go. Flags go. Frank Myers, the rookie replacement for Steve Riley over the left side. Number 74. And he's done quite a job. When Riley went down and was hurt, they had to bring somebody in there. And young Frank Myers has provided quite a good tackle job for him.
Well, let me tell you about Frank Myers. He was a 5th-round Baltimore Colts draft choice. He's described by his own management as adequate. You saw the call by the official. And Minnesota got him in exchange for an 8th-round draft choice in the trade with Baltimore.
He made a big mistake just then. That's a really cost. That's right. You'll hear about that a lot.
Not only that, he's going against Harvey Martin tonight, so we'll keep our eye on that matchup. But he performed very well against Freddie Dryer. Better than Minnesota thought he could when the Vikes lost to the Rams.
3rd down, 7. 43-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Tarkenton had the time, has the receivers for shot, and again he breaks tackles.
I'm telling you.
And he has a first down at the 33-yard line. Good effort by Rashad, good effort by Tarkenton to get it there. Aaron Kyle missed the tackle.
3rd down, long situation. It's so hard to make anyway. He just sits there and more or less telegraphs what they're going to do, and he's beating you on sheer execution. Good route by Rashad, but not really anything fancy. Kyle's way off of him. Kyle's coming up trying to, I don't know, he's just slipping tackles. That's Barnes coming over to help him. Aaron gets up off his whatever and pulls his feet down. There you go.
9 of 11 for Tarkenton. 1st and 10. Inside the 33 of the Cowboys. The Vikings leading 14-0. Sandy White on the reverse. The luck run away from 56, Tom Henderson. Henderson pulls him down from behind after a gain of 1.5 yards or 2.
Well, that was good defensive work and an evidence of Henderson's lateral speed and pursuit, if you want to use that time one word. I love the end-around play. I've loved it through all the years I've watched football done, and I loved it when Hank Stram used it with 25 Frank Pitts to help undo the Vikes in the Super Bowl of 1970. And Monday night, you weren't with us, Houston used it brilliantly with Richard Castle.
It is. Harvey Martin was hurt on that last play. Then replaced by Bethea.
Martin, of course, nursing a sore knee. Bethea, the rookie from Michigan State, is in there now. He wears number 76. Tarkenton again. And this time, everybody was coming, including the safety man. Cliff Harris. Tarkenton just hung it up.
He really did just hang it up. He's lucky no Cowboy was around for the intercept.
Smart enough to throw it too deep.
Look at the stats. Did you see that graphic, Frank? 9 out of 12, 109 yards for Sir Francis.
He's doing what he told us he was going to do. He was very open right out on the record with it. And, of course, if you look at the stats, you know that they are the last team in the NFL, all 28 teams. This is the worst rushing team, the Minnesota Vikings.
I can figure that out. They got nobody back there to carry the ball. Oh, now they got somebody.
3rd down, 7. Tarkenton and Bob Tucker cannot hold on. He had it in his hands, dropped it. It would have been a first down, and Francis is upset.
You know what? I think he's upset. I think he's upset that they knocked down Ricky Young because they hit him down the line. I don't know whether Tucker hit him or not, but he was running, trying to find somebody open. Couldn't quite do it.
Well, he found somebody open,
well, and
Tucker didn't hold the ball. And I'll tell you, for Dallas, that's a key play. Maybe now they can get themselves together as we approach the end of the first quarter with 14 seconds left. It was a designed rollout to the left, and Tucker, I think, Young was the intended receiver.
47-yard field goal attempt, Dan Meyer. He's kicked one already this year at 46. No. So Dallas trailing 14-0. Dodges a bullet. They'll have a 1st and 10 at the original line of scrimmage when we return to Texas Stadium.
Why are truck shoppers everywhere deciding on Datsun?
It's going to pay for itself in 2 years.
They're fantastic as far as gas mileage.
The money I'm saving on gas alone will do it. After driving them all and comparing the prices, this was the best deal.
I think this is a versatile car. It's comfortable, it gets good mileage. It was the end of the year. They were clearing out the 1978, so I got an extra special deal.
Datsun trucks at year-end prices. See your Datsun dealer today.
Many people think of corporations as ivory towers. But in an ivory tower world, 3M hears you. When 3M heard that most telephone copying machines required 4 to 6 minutes to transmit a page, 3M developed the Express 9600 and speeded transmission up to 12 times. Small, big, simple, complex. Ingenious products for practical use. Made possible because 3M listens. 3M hears you.
The Los Angeles Rams battled the Atlanta Falcons Monday night on ABC.
And something you shouldn't miss, preceding our game, Terror in the Promised Land, an ABC News close-up, Monday night at 8 Eastern Time, 7 Central Time. This program includes an exclusive and close-up look at the Palestinian suicide squads training for terrorist missions and interviews with PLO terrorist leaders. A hard look at the most difficult obstacle to real peace in the Middle East. Terror in the Promised Land, that's Monday night on ABC, right before Atlanta and Los Angeles. First and 10, the Dallas Cowboys, down by 14. Ball just over their own 30-yard line. Play action. Staubach again goes down in the arms of Jim Marshall. James White, who got in there first, breaking his block, forced Staubach out of the pocket, and Marshall was there.
Cowboys showed the defense of the Vikings that time 5 offensive sets before they snapped the ball.
There's Harvey Martin's knee brace. We talked to him about it yesterday, right after a Dallas workout. Held it up proudly and said it's the same one Joe Willie wore. The gun for the end of the quarter, Gip.
And what a quarter was offensively for the Minnesota Vikings. They have a 14-0 lead over the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys. We'll be returning to Irving, Texas. Stay with us.
By now, almost everybody's heard about the incredible Black & Decker Workmate. About how it makes almost any hard job a lot easier, like planing, hammering, sawing, almost anything. But what most people don't know about the incredible Workmate is now you can get a single hatch model for as little as $45.
Wow.
That's right. A Black & Decker Workmate for about $45. That's really incredible.
I'm Merlin, the electronic wizard, challenging you to 6 computer games. Start with simple tic-tac-toe. Your turn, my turn. I'll tell you if you win and when you lose. Play all kinds of games. Echo, Blackjack 13, Magic Square, or formidable Mind Bender, or make beautiful music together. Merlin, the electronic wizard from Parker Brothers.
You know, when I've got a little extra time on my hands, I like to do things I really enjoy, like roping. But there's one thing I enjoy all the time, and that's tobacco. And just like millions of other guys, I get my tobacco pleasure without lighting up, because I use smokeless tobacco. My favorite brand is Skoal with the wintergreen taste. And just a pinch between your cheek and gum is all it takes. And boy, it sure does feel good in there. So take it from me, Walt Garrison. Do something you're really going to enjoy. Try going smokeless.
A sellout crowd at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. They're watching their Dallas Cowboys, the Super Bowl champions, the #1 team offensively in the entire NFL. They gained a net of 24 yards in the first quarter. They're down 14-0. First and 10, the Cowboys, their own 30-yard line. Newhouse, right side, finds a little opening and squeezes out about 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and long 7. Matt Blair made the stop, and there is the story of the first quarter.
So one-sided, as you can see, especially in the passing game. Tarkenton doing exactly what he told Frank Gifford he was going to do in his interview with Frank, done early as we set the storyline for this game. It's holding up at this point. 2 Dallas turnovers, setting the stage for 2 quick Minnesota scores.
Larry Brinson fumbled the opening kickoff. Later, moments later, Tony Dorsett fumbled. Minnesota paid off on both of them. Out of the shotgun, 3rd down and 7. He's got back against Billy Joe Dupree. It bounces off his hands. He collects it, and he goes inside the 40 of the Minnesota Vikings. And Dallas has a first down.
That was so strange because he was just standing there by himself for what
Could
seemed
have
like...
run easily for the first down, but he elected not to. Look at it again from the end zone.
No, I was talking about Dupree standing down there. He's wide open. There's just nobody around him, and he comes back across the middle. And Roger did see him. Wisely chose not to run, throw it, pick up a first down.
Matt Blair made the crushing tackle there, number 59, the very linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. But Dallas has a first down inside the 40 of Minnesota. Dorsett looking for a cutback, nowhere to go, and it was Phil Wise who made the force, and then Seaman was there to make sure, and Dorsett loses the yardage back to the 42-yard line.
And as you may hear, they're booing him roundly, but Dorsett is prepared for that. He's a great football player, and a loss on an individual play isn't going to change his abilities.
Remarkable young man, over 6,000 yards in his collegiate career.
I felt that graphic was misleading because he had been benched in the last game, personally.
Second down, 13. Dorsett. And he is piled up after a gain of about a yard. It was Jeff Seaman, and Jeff Seaman will hit you.
Well, the crowd is booing him again, but the crowd doesn't understand is that his offensive line has to give him some help, and Coach Glandry has been complaining openly about the play of his offensive line this year. And as Harvey Martin said yesterday to me, but the fans don't understand how it is. We're not going against a bunch of statues out there.
Third down and 11.
There's a Stu.
Tony Hill right, Drew Pearson left. The motion man, Billy Joe Dupree. Flag is down. We could have had illegal motion. Pass intended for Butch Johnson. The flag is down. I think Billy Joe Dupree might have turned upfield.
He did, weaving in and out of those backs they had set back there. It's obstacle course.
The other declined that.
It might not have been.
It will be either fourth down or third down and 18. Obviously, Minnesota will decline the penalty. They want the football.
That was a big series of downs.
Motion 89 offense declined fourth down.
Big for Minnesota because Tucker's miss of Tarkenton's pass for a first down, which could have led to a third Minnesota touchdown, could have ignited the Cowboys to a touchdown drive to turn this game around. But it didn't. That's why it was a big series of downs.
This is one place where Minnesota has also been failing. They have not been returning kicks well. You had a look at Kevin Miller. Danny White angles for the corner, hoping to put it inside, and he does not. He catches the end zone touchback. So Minnesota will have a first and 10 on the touchback at their own 20-yard line. 12:29 remaining, and they have 14-0 Minnesota.
It's time to reveal the best-kept car secret of the year. A totally new Z-Car. The new Datsun 280ZX. Come sit in velour. Aircraft lighting on all instruments. Pre-flight checkout system. Power windows pre-programmed. Look, no hands. Power steering. 5-speed stick with cruise control. 4-speaker stereo. A cockpit of luxury found in cars costing thousands more. Now, feast your eyes on the new 280ZX. The look is pure Z-Car, yet it looks like no other Z roaming the road. It's Datsun driven to its best, and Datsun at its best is awesome. We are
That's Tom Landry. He's talking upstairs, of course, and what he's talking about and thinking about is how do we adjust to this new look Minnesota is giving us. And certainly after a quarter and now into the second quarter, Don, we can look for some defensive adjustments.
I think you're right.
Tarkenton first and 10. Sprint out, looking for Sammy White. He wasn't open. He has a man, though, sprinting down the sideline. It's Ricky Young, but right with him, number 50, D.D. Lewis.
D.D. Dee Dee's been around a while. How about give me something, Frank? I'm sorry.
Well, how about some college football?
Yeah, good.
Saturday, a great lineup of regional action. NCAA college football, 1:30 Eastern Pacific, 12:30 Central. Colorado goes against Missouri. What a rivalry that is in the Big 8. Both teams have identical 5-2-0 records. Missouri ranked 13th in the AP poll. Then we have Arizona State against Washington. We have Purdue against Iowa, Florida with Georgia Tech, Clemson, North Carolina State, Holy Cross against Brown. So check the local listing for the college game in your area over most of these ABC stations. Second down and 10. Flag is down. Rashad is down at the 30-yard line.
Man, I tell you, Tarkenton made a heck of a move just to get the ball off. Nobody touched Henderson. Henderson really leveled him, got the ball off right on time. He's done that a lot. It's something that a lot of quarterbacks, that just a slight little flinch, going to throw that ball off. Fran stuck in there.
Offside, Minnesota, and that'll back him up. It'll be second down and 15. And the other difficulty you have as we look at the man who put this offense in, he didn't have a lot of time to work with it. And when you blitz them, that's one of the most difficult things there is. Here's the call. It's offside, but what you really have to do is make sure the men you keep in the block know their assignments, and you don't learn it overnight. And against Dallas, it can be really hard on your quarterback. Henderson, a good blitzing linebacker, as of course is D.D. Lewis. Second and 15. The ball inside the 15 now. Oh, boy. Foreman erupts out over the 25-yard line, close to the 29-yard line, short of a first down. It'll be third down and about 2.
Not too bad a call. Great work by the offensive line. Done. Look at the hold from overhead.
All right. Number one, there's nobody in the middle. There's not a middle linebacker. I would suspect that it's either an audible or it's the kind of play that they call when that defense comes in, when they only call it in the huddle. There's nobody there. He comes right in the middle, and there's nobody there. They have the ends covered. They think they're going to throw. Good job by Fran.
You saw the classic look at the outside 4-3. That's what you use against a pass to get the rush, but Tarkenton had the perfect call right up the middle. Play action, Ricky Young. Tarkenton has to dump it off, and he gets to Stu Boyd.
But it's a first down.
It's the first down. And again, Tarkenton paid the price.
He's doing a good job.
He is doing a sensational job as you look at it again.
You see
and
Bruni
through the
come
years, one of Tarkenton's great abilities has been to make a man of not great ability look better than he is. Thus, Stu Voigt, not one of the better tight ends in the National Football League by the standards of Francis and Casper, has been consistently effective with Tarkenton.
First and 10, the ball at the 32-yard line. Minnesota leading 14-0. Ricky Young, and Ricky Young goes down, stumbles forward to about the 36-yard line, hit by Bob Bruni. It's a gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6.
This kind of offense works extremely well if you can get enough protection from the 5 offensive linemen. And so far, he's been able to do that, get the pass off quickly. If he has to take more time and throw deeper, I think he'll run into trouble.
Second and 6. This is a good blitz down for Dallas. Watch those linebackers. They're just kind of out of your shop, but they come in quickly when they come. Handoff goes to Ricky Young. And reading it perfectly was Bob Bruni, number 53, once again.
You saw a slight defensive adjustment, Frank, right before the snap of the ball. You saw Dallas shift there, too. The right defensive tackle and right defensive end. It was an audible on defense that time, based on the formation that Minnesota was in. They expected that. They've scouted those kind of formations. They know what they like to do there in that situation. They shifted into it and protected against the run.
Third and 6. Tarkenton again. Here comes the safety blitz. He throws it away, and this time almost picked off.
They're going to really come at him. If Fran can hold up all night, he's going to be okay. But, man, they're going to give him a run for his money.
Well, I'll tell you, Cliff Harris was in on him, 43 like a shot.
And there was Randy Hughes, too.
They brought everyone but Landry.
He's not going to go.
Greg Coleman comes in.
Now the crowd's picking up because Dallas has stopped the Vikes twice in a row.
Tony Hill goes deep for Dallas, standing back at his 24-yard line. Dangerous return man. Butch Johnson, a little bruised. Ordinarily, we'd be back there. A low kick. Hill will have an opportunity. And Tony Hill, nifty footwork, and he moves out to the 44-yard line. Greg Coleman kicks it low, and Tony Hill returns it for good field position for Dallas.
The American Indian has always respected the eagle, its strength, its freedom to sail, to soar, master of the sky. To fly like the eagle is no longer a dream. To fly to the lands of the Native American or anywhere else in the world on a Boeing 747. The world's favorite way to fly.
When you need some things for working out.
You're in good shape if you've got clout. Raring to go, feel like a king. Got new clubs with my clout.
But the same old swing.
When my green thumb starts to sprout, I use the card that carries clout, Master Charge.
The #1 card in the world.
When you carry Master Charge, you carry clout.
Why do without? Use your clout.
14-0, Minnesota capitalizing on 2 errors by the Dallas Cowboys. Took the lead in the first quarter, 9:23 now remaining in the first half. Good field position for Dallas. Their own 44-yard line. Good return by Tony Hill. The motion is Drew Pearson. Play action to Dorsett. Staubach with a lot of time, going deep to Tony Hill. And almost picked off. Tom Hannon visibly upset that he could not hold on. Phil Wise was also back there covering. Staubach had all the time in the world, but good defensive coverage by Phil Wise and this man, a second-year man from Michigan State, Tom Hannon. Look at it again.
Almost looked to me like he let him get too far downfield before he let the ball go. Had to lay it up too high to get there. He does have good protection, as you mentioned. There's no one there. Tony's running a cross pattern. Oh, this was a little late, I believe, in being released. He was open for a while. Good defensive play.
Jackie Smith comes into the lineup. He wears number 81. 480 career receptions for Jackie Smith. Dorsett finds a little hole and makes a bundle out of it. Not quite enough for the first down. It'll be 3rd down and a yard as he moves inside of Minnesota territory at the 47.
I'd like to make this observation. I think clearly you can sense a swing in the momentum. Dallas has adjusted, stopping Minnesota twice consecutively to what Minnesota's been trying to give a new look to, their offense, and they're about ready to strike.
Well, they had a lot of turning to do. They gained 24 yards in the first quarter. #1 offensive team in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. They have a 3rd down and 1. Newhouse, huge hole, and Newhouse cuts back to the inside, gets inside the 40, down close to the 38-yard line. 1st down, Dallas.
They had an odd man set that time. Odd man being the man over the center. And the linebackers are over the offensive guards. You can see the big number 72, James White, right over the center.
Good block by Dorsett.
Yeah, good block by Dorsett. You're right. Led right into it. They hit the open hole. They hit where the linebackers are standing up. I think the play before with Dorsett running up the middle, they're going to check out those new tackles. You've got James White and Sutherland up there. Page is gone, so Cowboys will go right at it.
1st and 10. Staubach, Tony Hill. And Tony Hill tiptoed close to another Dallas 1st down.
One of the keys you look for is when you got more than one guy open on the same route, you know that defense is not doing too well. He had 2 guys open basically in the same area that time.
This crowd has come alive now. We've talked to you about Tony Hill before because we've had 2 previous Dallas games, the Monday night opener. As you look at Tony, the 38-0 rout of Baltimore, and then the 9-5 upset by Washington.
Hill did get the 1st down, tiptoeing down the sideline. Cowboys 1st and 10, the ball inside the 28-yard line of Minnesota. Newhouse goes down. He's in the arms of Jeff Seaman.
Developed too slowly, that play. Enabled Seaman to come up through the middle, take a step to his right, close Newhouse off before he broke through the line of scrimmage.
Gain of 2, it'll be 2nd down and 8. Dallas with almost a specialty unit on every situation.
Seems that way.
Here comes Lawless, 66, the guard with the play. Tony Hill comes back into the lineup. So we have Hill and Drew Pearson. Pearson, 29 receptions thus far in the year. Tony Hill now with 24. 2nd and 8. Draw play, Newhouse.
He went the wrong direction.
Newhouse gets away from Jeff Seaman this time. Bounces all over the football field, getting inside the 25. A gain of 2 and a run of about 10.
And the crowd loves him, as you can probably hear in the background. Doc last night had an affair here in Dallas. Bobby Newhouse gave me the key to the city.
I saw your picture with him on the front page of the paper.
What city? But when he gave it to me, he said, I'm not telling you whether it's the front door or the back.
Don Landry. 66. His team's average per year, a little over 3 losses. A remarkable record. Preston Pearson in, of course, the passing situation. Staubach in a crowd. Preston Pearson holds on.
Hey, is that a nice catch?
That's the first down, down at the 13-yard line.
That was a great catch, and it wasn't an easy pitch for Roger, who was under insistent pressure.
He moved up into it. The guys didn't open up quickly. You'll see that starts off with fairly good protection. Nobody breaks up. He moved up a little too quickly into the pocket. Threw the ball in a really very difficult position to catch. Frank, you may comment on that because he came out of the backfield. When you're running one direction, it's a little bit behind you and low. That's a tough place to catch it. Good concentration by Pearson, and it was a good effort by Roger to get the pass away.
Not artistic, but rather effective. Paul Kraus attempting to defend. The Cowboys have it 1st and 10. The ball at the 13-yard line of Minnesota. Dorsett. Dorsett gets away from one tackler, but he does not get away from number 20, Bobby Bryant.
The stats on Minnesota down here inside the 20-yard line is that they blitz 60% of the time. Very high percentage of blitz inside the 20. Inside the 10, not really that unusual. But they really start coming at you when you get inside the 20-yard line. Dallas has a couple of plays that they try to counter with this. They'll go to one side. They'll come back. They have screens. They have a halfback pass that they might throw a little bit too close in for that. Have a flanker pass that they'll throw tonight, too, I think.
2nd down, 14. Drew Pearson out to the right. Covered there singly by Nate Wright. That's dangerous. Staubach saw it, too. He wanted to go, and Nate Wright put on the coverage.
I don't believe it.
I thought he was out of bounds when he threw it.
I thought Roger was a dead duck. That's why Roger Staubach's a great athlete. That's why Robert Newhouse is what we call a functional back. Look at it again.
He was close to being out of bounds, as you'll see, but he just did get it away. There it is.
Everybody was pretty well covered that time. You can't cover Newhouse any closer than Blair has him covered. He just stopped. We're out of bounds. Roger made a good adjustment. A little quick handoff fake to Dorsett. And there he is out on the sideline. He just stops. Smart enough not to go out of bounds. Roger hit him. Picked up 5-6 yards. Saved the loss of about 3.
It's 3rd down and 5. 8-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. The Cowboys down by 14. Preston Pearson in the lineup again. He's 26. In there with Dorsett.
Down and away.
An attempt to Drew Pearson, and Drew Pearson well covered. Bobby Bryant, Staubach just threw it away.
Oh, they're even considering going for it. Now he changed his mind. He says, no, we're going to kick.
He's got to put the points on the board.
Yeah, he does.
Dallas used up a lot of the clock on that drive. There are only 3:44 left in the first half.
It's very easy to question plays up here. We've talked about that a lot, but I thought that was an unusual call. 3rd down in a 5 situation down on about the 8-yard line, and he's trying to hit a square out.
Talking over with Tom. Rafael Septian, field goal attempt. 25 yards. He's 4 of 9 on the year. An easy tip, and the Cowboys erased the 0 on the scoreboard. They now trail 14-3. We'll be returning for the Dallas kickoff in just a moment.
Rejoice, a totally new Z-Car. The new Datsun 280ZX. Plush velour cockpit, computerized safety check, power steering, 5-speed with cruise control, 4-speaker stereo, 4-wheel disc brakes. Here's luxury and performance found in cars costing thousands more. Datsun's new ZX is awesome.
Today, crimes of violence are moving to better neighborhoods. But now you can help protect your loved ones with the West Clock's Home Protector burglar alarm. Put one on your bedroom windows. Works on doors, too. Installs with a screwdriver. No wires, no batteries, priced under $10. Guard the safety of your loved ones with the Home Protector burglar alarm. From West Clocks by Tally Industries.
Dallas is on the scoreboard, but they trail 14-3, and I know they can't be happy coming away from that long drive. They used up a great deal of time with only 3 points. Kevin Miller standing at the goal line. Rafael Septian set to kick off. Hangs it high. Kevin Miller from his 7-yard line. I want to remind you, we'll be in Atlanta for the Rams and the Atlanta Falcons coming up on Monday night. And just before that, a big night coming up. The Los Angeles Rams, of course, against the Falcons. But there is going to be, provided by ABC News, a special Terror in the Promised Land, a close-up. Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 Central Time. An interesting, a fascinating look at terrorism. And there is an offside now down on the field. And we are going to kick it again.
Number 25, kicking team.
Of course, in that special, ABC News special, and have interviews with PLO terrorist leaders, and there'll be a hard look at one of the most difficult obstacles to real peace in the Middle East, entitled Terror in the Promised Land, Monday night on ABC.
Frank,
immediately following the Rams and the Falcons.
Frank, you touched on a key point a moment ago, the amount of time the Cowboys used up in that drive. In point of fact, it was 5 minutes and 42 seconds. And they have to feel a little bit let down coming away without the touchdown. But let's say if they can stop Minnesota again. I keep going back to that missed third down pass by Bob Tucker just as the first quarter ended. That was the shot, or the failure by Minnesota, that reignited Dallas.
Penalty assessed. Septian will kick from the 30. Kevin Miller is deep. Good kick. 5-yard line. Kevin Miller. Could be trouble. And Kevin Miller gets away from one Dallas Cowboy at the 27 and gets out to the 39-yard line. And this is something the Minnesota Vikings have also been not doing well throughout the season, returning kickoffs.
But this was a good one that gave them good field position. They've got 3 minutes, 19 seconds left in the half. They would like to do 2 things. A, at least get back that Dallas field goal, of course. B, consume the clock. Let's see if they can do it.
I think they need points, too. And Dallas is going to explode, and they know it. On the 1st and 10. Foreman. Flag is down. Number 56, Tom Henderson, in on the stop. That's doggone. Face mask, and it goes against Dallas. Boy, things have really been going in a negative way for the Cowboys tonight. They fumbled the opening kickoff. Dorsett fumbled right after that. Minnesota pounded in 2 quick touchdowns. Here's the call.
Face mask, number 76, defense, first down.
Larry Bethea, the rookie from Michigan State, at defensive right end, replacing Harvey Martin, face masking.
He got him, didn't he?
He really did. Oh, did he hook him? Right on target. The first down at the 47-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. 3:14 remaining in the first half. Tarkenton. Bob Tucker. Tucker out of bounds after a 6-yard pickup. Minnesota territory inside the 49-yard line. Charlie Waters was there defensively. Bob Tucker, of course, led the NFL with Fran Tarkenton a few years ago with the New York Giants back in '71 with 59 receptions. He, of course, joined the Vikings last year after the 5th game.
Thought Tucker went out of bounds that time. He didn't. Evidently not. The clock is still running.
And it shows inside 2:35 now, remaining in the first half. On second down, Tarkenton goes out to Ricky Young, and Young steps out of bounds, stopping the clock short of the first down at the 44-yard line.
Is just showing the first down, and basically you're watching a master at work. He did have to take an earlier timeout when things grew confusing. They've still got 2 timeouts left. Remember, the object to get back the points of the Dallas field goal and to consume the clock. Right now, he's showing the ability to do both.
Those are his stats, but keep in mind, now in his 18th year, Tarkenton has thrown for over 45,000 yards. Went over the 45,000 mark last week in a winning effort against Green Bay. Foreman gets to the outside, the first down and 20 more.
Tell you, if Bruni had not come through from that middle linebacker to pull him down, that outside defense for the Cowboys was pretty well mowed down by Ricky Young, who seemed to have a domino effect on Waters and Harris. How'd you like that?
I like that.
Yes,
the domino effect.
Yes, domino effect. Catch one, let them all fall into one another all over the place.
We will not get this playoff before the 2-minute warning. And there it is. The Vikings leading the Dallas Cowboys 14-3, 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
This Olympus OM-1 brought back photographs from around the world, but it wasn't on vacation. The OM-1 went into combat, where rugged reliability is a necessity. The OM-1 recorded disasters because it's fast and responsive. In fact, wherever you find news, you'll find the gutsy compact Olympus OM-1. It's used by United Press International worldwide. That's why the Olympus OM-1 has outsold all compact SLRs. You know our pictures, now you know our name. The Olympus OM-1 is #1.
Light beer from Miller tastes just great, and that's no fish story. But the best thing is, it's less filling. Light's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and that's important when you're trying to land that big one. Like yesterday, I hooked this bass, fought him for over 6 hours. All of a sudden, he jumps clean over the boat. Broke my rod, and I had to tie the... No, wait a minute, fellas. I had to tie the line
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Left me out there with nothing but a paddle.
Tom Landry pacing the bench, wondering what in the world has gone wrong tonight. Halloween has come a little early. Everything that could have gone wrong so far has gone wrong for the Cowboys. And a lot of it being induced by a man wearing number 10, Fran Tarkenton. He came in throwing the football. He's continued to throw the ball. He's throwing it a little shorter, dumping it off. He likes to do that, and then let his backs like Foreman and Ricky Young run with it. That has been very effective. They have a 1st and 10. At the 39-yard line. Tarkenton now 13 of 19 on the night, no interceptions. Tarkenton just hung it up as he was being pressured. Number 54, Randy White was in there. The intended receiver, Bob Tucker, well covered by Charlie Waters. 2nd and 10.
Tucker looked beseechingly at an official, claiming interference. Charlie Waters, number 41, claimed interference in the opposite direction. The officials dutifully ignored both protestations.
Oh, man.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
2nd and 10.
No penalty.
Rashad goes out to the left. Out to the right goes Sammy White. This has been the down that the Cowboys like to send everybody. They have a couple of safety men right up there now. And here comes Cliff Harris. He's picked up, and Tarkenton read it and fires it to Rashad complete. Short of the first down inside the 31.
I love to see that pass. It's just one that's strictly timing. It requires an awful lot for a receiver to come into the middle like that. Keep his eyes and concentration on the ball. Quarterback has to have it right there. And if those 2 things happen, it'll be complete.
3rd down and 2. 2 timeouts remaining. The clock is moving at 1:30. A long 2, that is. Foreman trying to surge forward to the first down, and he's very close.
He got it. I think he got it.
He did. D.D. Lewis made the stop, but not until Foreman had picked up the first down.
And Fran calls one of his remaining 2 timeouts.
He moves over to the sideline now for a little bit of a conference. He'll have 1 timeout remaining and 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining in the half at a 14-3 lead.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Baker. And I'm Connie Dolan. We're Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
We've got a question. What do Steve Largent, Louis Kelcher, and Haven Moses have in common?
Answer, all 3 appeared in the new series of NFL United Way announcements this season.
Players from each of the NFL teams take you to special places in their towns, like Bunker Hill in Boston,
Stone Mountain in Atlanta,
and the country where legends say Paul Bunyan lived.
Then they introduced you to some very special people, the people you helped through your United Way. The little deaf girl in Houston you helped to speak,
a handicapped worker in Cleveland that you helped to get a job,
and a blind girl in Denver you taught to read.
This is the 5th season that the National Football League has presented United Way spots as a free public service.
To this series, the millions of people helped by United Way can say,
thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. 1:07 remains in the first half. Minnesota has a 1st and 10 inside the 29-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys, and they have a 14-3 lead. Minnesota, of course, chasing Green Bay in their Central Division of the NFC. That's an unusual position for them. They've won 9 of the last 11 years in the Central Division, but Green Bay has a 6-2 lead. Minnesota is 4-4, as is Tampa. Too much time.
That's unusual, isn't it?
Really is.
You come in on a 2-minute situation and you call the timeout to save it, and you come up and get called for too much time. I would suggest that possibly Dallas has adjusted to that new offensive formation.
And it could be that Minnesota is not quite so familiar with it, that it takes a little bit of play calling in there, a little bit of time, maybe a question or two by the part of one receiver. Am I in the slot? Am I in the line of scrimmage? In any event, the 5-yard penalty is 1st down and 15. Situated now inside the 34-yard line. Larry Cole is in there defensively for Dallas. He wears 63. Jethro Pugh is out.
Big hole. Big hole. Same thing.
Again, they came and it was quick trap blocking for him and found the opening 1st down, Minnesota.
Nobody in the middle. They were overshifted again. Had Henderson coming from the inside, his defensive end and tackle. Overshift to the other side.
There's the trap.
There. Quick trap.
And he called 2 plays to save time in the huddle, and you're watching a master at work.
On the 1st and 10, Tarkenton going for a shot, and he is in
a flag.
Dogfight down there with Aaron Kyle. They were pushing and shoving.
Good call.
Flag is down. It could have been Rashad first, and then defensively on the part of Aaron Kyle. Tarkenton says, get out of there. Don't argue with him. It's going to go for us.
Yeah, it sure is. I would imagine it's...
I'll tell you, when you're in a situation like that, no matter how well-trained a player is, no matter how experienced, human reaction enters into it. Now, they come back.
Landry, visibly disturbed with the showing of his team. Bud Grant smiles on his face. He marked off from the line of scrimmage, 5 yards. Here's the call.
They'll call it an illegal chuck, I guess, don't you?
I believe so.
Holding number 25, 1st down.
Aaron Kyle tangled up with Ahmad Rashad. Take a look at it. You'll see Rashad run into Kyle first, I do believe, right there.
That's it.
Boy.
Well, he didn't hold him. Oh, well, I guess it's just
1st down. Ball at the 12-yard line. Tarkenton to the air again.
Oh, he's got him wide open.
Wide open, Sammy White.
And what a move he put on Barnes.
Touchdown. He put a move on Benny Barnes and spun him all the way around.
He really did.
What you've just seen is a positive master at work. Tarkenton with the 2 goals to get back the points that Dallas had scored. He got more than that as we look at it again. And at the same time, to consume the clock, there are only 29 seconds left in the half. What a performance. And going into this game, Francis had been intercepted only once in his last 116 pass attempts.
And he's throwing at 62% as we watch Rick Danmeyer for the conversion. And Minnesota is making it look easy. 21 against 3. And let's take a look at the move that Sammy White puts on Benny Barnes.
He goes to the outside, Frank. With that first little head fake, makes a move to the inside and left Barnes just standing there.
As you know, too, Don, when you're in a blitzing defense, and leave your cornerbacks generally man-to-man, and that was a situation Sammy White did a number on Benny Barnes.
I was talking about earlier when Dallas was down in that 3rd down and 5 or 6 situation, and they ran a straight out pattern. That's only one look that the defensive back has to do. Ordinarily, Dallas likes to give you either a quick move to the inside and try to catch that guy, the defensive back on the outside, or they too will run that similar type pattern, a double move. In and out.
21-3. Minnesota capitalizing on 2 Dallas errors, getting a 14 lead. Dallas came back, they got 3 points. But that drive, there was really no major error, unless you consider the penalty against Aaron Kyle. And they lead 21-3. They put together a nice drive.
It was a good drive, as a matter of fact. I thought, really, if they went in at 14-3, Dallas would probably still come back and win. Now at 21-3, I think it's going to be very difficult for Dallas to come back and win.
Alois Blackwell is deep with Larry Brinson. Rick Danmeyer will kick off for Minnesota. Interesting halftime coming your way. Some of the highlights of the season thus far. A squib along the ground. This will be the rookie from Houston, Blackwell. Look at flag is on. And I believe it's going to be a clip as Blackwell is down at the 38-yard line.
Could have been Guy Brown they got for clipping back there.
If so, another terrible break and another terrible mistake for Dallas. Yep, Frank called it.
20 seconds on the clock. Not all that tragic, but you can do a lot with 20 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you, had he broken for the TD, they're back in the games.
Personal foul, clipping, number 65.
I missed it.
Dave Stalls, special team player for Dallas, with a clip, and it's so easy to do, not intentionally, really, when you're not sure where the running back is. Dallas has 20 seconds. They have Dorsett, Preston Pearson in the ball game. They have 3 timeouts, but they could maybe just decide to maintain possession and go back into the locker room and try and regroup. Yep, they are going to do just that as Preston Pearson gets the draw out of the shotgun. And he has a nifty gain of 8 yards out over the 35 to the 31, and the clock is going to wind down.
You wonder why you don't give it to Dorsett in a situation like that rather than Pearson if they're going to run a draw.
They will not get the play off. That's the end of the first half. 21-3, the Vikings over the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be ready for our halftime highlights after this message and a word from our local stations.
Going up that hill. No way.
Off-road is fun, but sometimes you run into an obstacle that only a true four-wheel drive vehicle can handle.
A Jeep CJ will give it a try.
The Jeep CJ, built rugged, tough, and tailor-made for terrain like this. It's easy to see the Jeep CJ was born and bred for four-wheeling. And there's even options like automatic transmission and a hardtop. Top that.
That was fun.
The Jeep CJ. We wrote the book on four-wheel drive.
Think of the most professional-looking sound system you can imagine. Think of the ideal place to house it. You're thinking of one of JCPenney's remarkable new MCS series audio rack systems. Now, think of an incredible everyday saving of over $300 when you purchase any of these component systems as a package. JCPenney's MCS series audio rack systems. Think of the sound. Think of the service. Think of the savings. You won't have to think again.
Sunday on Battlestar Galactica.
We have to turn back.
Apollo and Starbuck race against time to destroy the ultimate weapon. Then, a true story.
You always fly that low?
It couldn't happen,
This is your captain speaking. Welcome to sunny Miami.
but it did. Crash.
Sunday.
We're back at Texas Stadium. The score at halftime. Astonishingly, I guess, for fans around the nation, the Vikes 21, the Cowboys 3. Here's the way the scoring went. The Vikes, taking advantage of a turnover, scored first on a Foreman reception of a pass from Tarkenton, who's been brilliant. Then the Vikes scored again after still another Dallas turnover. Ricky Young on a 4-yard run, 14-0. Dallas adjusted to a new-look Minnesota offense and came on to put a field goal on the scoreboard on that Septien 25-yard field goal, 14-3. But with 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in the half, Tarkenton engendered another Minnesota drive that wound up with Sammy White on the receiving end of a 12-yard pass. Minnesota 21-3. Now tonight, our review of the season at the midway mark is being brought to you by Commercial Credit, a financial service of Control Data Corporation. We find ways to help. Suppose a fortune teller had told you that during the first half of the 78 NFL season, those Redskins would go unbeaten for 6 games. That the Giants and Jets would both be only 1 game out of first place in their respective divisions. That only 2 teams in the entire league would have a better record than Bart Starr's Green Bay Packers. If the prophet told you all that, you would have told him to have his eyes checked, but his foresight was 2020. For the first half of the season has bounced around as crazily. The passing game has been honed to a razor's edge, but the rules change that invited more throwing has extracted its toll on NFL quarterbacks. Despite the injuries, Terry Bradshaw told us last Monday night he thinks the quarterbacks are protected enough. His teammate Jack Lambert sarcastically suggested quarterbacks should wear dresses, but injuries have ruined several seasons. Kenny Anderson, the passing hand damaged before the season even began. The Bengals, as a result, 0-8. Burt Jones felled twice with shoulder injuries. The Colts 3 games behind the pass. And controversy, a trademark of the first half of the season. It began with what the Chargers call the immaculate deception. The 3 fumbled forward play by Stabler and the Raiders for the winning touchdown against San Diego. You know, the officials have to make their decisions immediately. They don't have the advantage of slow-mo and instant replay. And so, in the Tampa Bay, Minnesota game, the officials ruled that Minnesota's Kevin Miller touched that football. Look at it again. The Buccaneers were allowed to recover Miller's alleged muff, went in for a clinching score. Then on the opening kickoff of sudden death, Cleveland at Pittsburgh, Larry Anderson getting the kickoff. Watch closely. He went down. The knee touched the ground, but no contact made with a Cleveland player. He got up. Then hit right there. The apparent fumble ruled not a fumble. The ball had been declared dead. And then this kind of play typifying the whole first half of the season. Spectacular in its nature. Keith Moody. Controversy a part of it, sure, but great plays, scrambled standings, missing quarterbacks, mayhem. As a result, well, the division races are the thing to look forward to now.
What does it take to run a business these days? To face unexpected problems and the disappointments. Competition from the big guys. It takes money to be ready for that big opportunity when it finally arrives. And Commercial Credit can respond to that need fast with a business loan, cash, to sustain your business. At Commercial Credit, we find ways to help.
Some experts put Dallas in the Super Bowl before the season even began. But those experts didn't reckon with a psyched-up Washington Redskin team that knocked them off in a Monday night matchup. And the Redskins took a 2-game lead in the NFC East. It was a 9-5 victory as the Redskins were all over the place on defense. And with juiced-up offense, Washington, to the elation of its coach, Jack Bardee, ran up a 6-game win streak to start the season. Typifying that kind of offense, this play, the flea flicker. And Theismann wound up throwing the Danny Bugs for a touchdown. But then Washington surprised by the Eagles and by this team, the Giants. Doug Coder on a 31-yard burst, breaking that tackle by Houston and that one by Lavender. And the Giants beat the Redskins. Giants trail the Redskins and the Cowboys by only 1 game. Bart Starr's Green Bay Packers, the most surprising team of all, led by quarterback Dave Whitehurst from Furman and wide receiver Jimmy Lofton, number 80, from Stanford. So the Pack leads the NFC in scoring, and they lead the NFC in quarterback sacks, too. They've been doing it all. But the Pack itself came a cropper just last Sunday against the Vikes and Fran Tarkenton and that man Ahmed Rashad. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, meanwhile, surprised the Vikes during the season, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are very much in the thick of things in their division. The New York Jets, meantime, have been almost incredible in terms of surprise. They lost their brilliant young quarterback, Richard Todd. You'll see it right here. Ball popping out of his hands. But even when they lost Richard Todd, they did not come apart. They found another quarterback, an unsung youngster wearing number 17, Matt Robinson. And with a passing arm like this and some clever play calling designed to meet the opponent on his own terms, the Jets are in the thick of things at 5-3. Miami's Don Shula's had his share of tough luck. Bob Greasy out before the season even began, but number 10, Don Strock, doing a good job. And Delvin Williams, the leading rusher in the league, doing sensational work as evidenced by this extraordinary run against the New York Jets. But even with Greasy back, the Dolphins ran into the red-hot New England Patriots, and New England beat Miami in a showdown for first place in the division for the 6th time in 8 weeks. The Pats didn't know if they would win or lose late in the game. 4 times they've won. That was Harris Ivory with the game-winning touchdown against Miami. Twice they have lost, once in a Monday night thriller when the team scored 41 points in the final quarter. The man of the moment, Joe Washington of the Colts, that Monday night. He was totally versatile in his skills, like here, rolling left and then throwing the option pass deep downfield to Roger Carr, touchdown. But the coup de grace was administered by Washington here on a kickoff return. And a touchdown run that won the game for the injury-riddled Baltimore Colts. Colts didn't stop with that upset. However, on Upset Sunday, this past Sunday, they shocked the Denver Broncos. Tommy Jackson tipping the pass, Glenn Doughty picking it off, and the Colts hung on for a 7-6 victory. Oakland, having a tough time, fell to Seattle 27-7. Oakland and Denver now lead the AFC West by just one game over Seattle. But they've been upsettable all year, and John Madden is very upset with the Raiders' unsteady play. Two teams that looked like they might not lose all year also went down. The Rams to the New Orleans Saints when Manning threw to Galbraith and went down the sideline for the game-winning touchdown. And then the last time you looked at Earl Campbell on a Monday night, you saw this. Just last Monday, Campbell spurting for 3 touchdowns as Houston upset the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-17. So after 8 weeks of this extraordinary season, there are no longer any undefeated teams, but Pittsburgh and Los Angeles presently on top. So they're heading for a showdown, those two teams, a couple of weeks hence, right here on ABC. If the season holds true to form, it'll be a season that no one will want to miss. Game by game down the road. And the pivot game at this moment, LA against Pittsburgh.
You ever notice just when you think you've finally caught up with bills, another expense crops up? Major house repair. Braces for your child's teeth. The old car breaks down. There's just no end to it. When you need money for any good reason, see Commercial Credit. The company that lends millions to help business lends even more to help people. If you need a loan, Commercial Credit will find ways to help.
And if you've just joined us, we are also surprised. The Minnesota Vikings coming out with a spread offense. Fran Tarkenton has been near perfect. And at halftime, the score is Minnesota 21, Dallas 3. This special edition of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Datsun, who invite you to experience the performance, quality, and luxury of the all-new 280 ZX at your Datsun dealer now. We'll be ready for the second half kickoff after a word from our local stations.
Friday, it's Donnie and Marie in a salute to the swing era with Ruth Buzzy, Sherman Hemsley, and Lassie. Then, the screen's strangest, most terrifying love story.
I killed her.
He wanted a second chance at love, but had she returned for revenge? Obsession. Tomorrow.
That'll make you nervous, do it, Shake?
Well, you've heard the cliche many times. The teams are going to the locker room to talk it over and get regrouped, and you better believe that's what happened to Dallas. This man, Fran Tarkenton, using a spread offense, was sensational. And, of course, he had a great deal of help from the Cowboys themselves. They made 2 key errors at the very beginning of the game. Brinson fumbled of a kickoff, the opening kickoff, 7 points Minnesota. Dorsett fumbled right after that, another 7. And Dallas is wondering what hit them. First of all, they've been doing the right thing with that spread offense, Don and Howard. That is shooting your linebackers, coming with the safety blitz, but Fran Tarkenton is probably the toughest quarterback in football to blitz against because he moves around, he reads